I am so happy with how this looks for the Rangers. We have a pitcher, Jack Leiter, and he is a dude.
And while I do think his hitting is worse than Derek Jeter, it's not that far off.
You're not mentioning 2006. You can mention the other people, not 2006.
Oh, just because I bought the best soap doesn't mean your room's going to be clean. It just leaves it to where I don't believe that the Canadians had a shot.
I really don't like the Clippers just kind of sending it in when they're like...
Hi, this is Kelly Forbes with the Dallas Stars, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NHL Opinions of the Week. I know it says Jets, and during this time, the Jets are, of course, a talking point with the new coach and that whole saga. But no, it's been pretty impressive for the Winnipeg Jets over the past few years, but this year, especially as a coaching change and the man that does not have to deal with the Jets in his division or conference, Austin.
Yeah, you're right. We talked about the Capitals top to East, and I thought, why not? Let's talk about the Jets atop to West. They ended up getting the 2 seed in their division last year in the playoffs and had the second overall best points total, only behind the Stars last year. So they've had a history recently of being a good team. They made the playoffs the year before that as well. But I am very interested to see what ends up happening with the Jets this year. They are one of the best defensive teams in the NHL, and the great goaltending that they have has definitely helped bolster it. I am interested to see whether or not they can get a little bit more formidable goal scoring, and whether they're going to get that through trades or if someone's going to just be on a tear. They have 2 guys really doing well right now, extremely well. Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor, both those guys are having career years. Kyle Connor has 60 points in 46 games, and Scheifele is back to his old form. I remember, 2 years ago he had 68 points. He's usually a points per game demon, and this year he's back to it, 53 points in 46 games. They have Morrissey, one of the best defensemen in the NHL, but I am interested to see whether or not they get more goal scoring, even though they're first in goals for this year, which I really think is the difference. But is it sustainable? I mean, they're getting, again, 26 goals from Connor, 27 goals from Scheifele, 19 goals from Gabriel Velarde. And they're not a team known for goal scoring, but this year being number 1, while last year they were 15th. Do you think they can stay atop in goal scoring, or is that something that's going to go by the wayside towards the end of the season?
Given that, I don't know if I was harsh on Bonus, but I was critical of his offensive philosophy as a coach. And of course they played well under Bonus, but it really came to the playoffs. He was kind of a more conservative, I would say, offensive mind, which is like, hey, I did think he let his defensive score, but it was really defense move up in the offense, kind of different from what the Stars were of just now, what they are now, just like sending the puck as high as they can and forwards moving up. But and I bring that up because this is Scott Arnell is the head coach for the Winnipeg Jets as Rick Bowness retired. And you mentioned that's something to where I think it could be sustainable, because as we look at the differences between this year and last year, because we've just been talking about goal scoring in general with the Winnipeg Jets the past few years. You mentioned 15th, and now they're first right now. And I do believe they made the trade for Scheifele last year. Or was it someone else?
No. That was for that was a different trade that they made, and that guy is no longer on the team. But I guess the big trade acquisitions recently, I believe they got Velarde 2 years ago in a trade. No, he's a free agent. Other guys are really trade oriented.
Who's the guy they got last year goal scoring?
He's now in Columbus. I'm trying to remember his name. Can I find him? Sean Monahan.
Monahan.
But he's with Columbus now
Okay.
and
Interesting.
playing well there.
Yeah, I do think they do something, because kind of looking at last year, they had Monahan and then they lost to the Avalanche, and it really was an offensive uh, battle because Hellebuck did not have a great series, but I think that was just kind of the wear and tear of what he was asked to do in the regular season. But I do think with the coaching philosophy, this could be something new and a focus of goal scoring, as you mentioned, their first to 15, because they were average. But I do think that is a significant change. So I do. Do you think part of this is just an extension of what Bonus built in his 3 years as coach?
Defensively, yes. I think defensively this is an extension. However, offensively has definitely been upgraded, and whether it's confidence or what have you, they definitely look the part a lot more now than they did a couple of years ago. Especially, again, Scheifele went from 68 points a couple of years ago to now having a fair amount over the amount that he had that year. Now he's at like 51, and he's probably going to, or 53, he's going to go probably over that 68 mark as we continue forward. But I do think that Bowen has set a good foundation defensively, and obviously when you have a great goaltender like the Jets do, it's kind of just can you get good offense around him, and if you can, then I believe that you can really succeed.
Yeah, and I do think Bonus kind of set a culture. I do believe in the culture of consistency. There can be inconsistent teams from season to season, and he kind of did that with the Stars too. Did think they missed 1 year because of injuries, but they were always competing for the playoffs, and that's what you've seen with the Jets. Now to the question though of can they stay atop of the West? I'm gonna say no.
That's a
What do
little
you?
bit more tough of a question. Well, let's say top. If their goal scoring can stay first, I do think so. However, if they fall a little bit, like I kind of expect over this back half of the season, because we're about halfway through, we're a little bit more than halfway through. We're 5 games more than halfway through, but we're about half. They still have the best points percentage right now, above Vegas, above Edmonton. But if their goal scoring falters some, I could see them falling down behind Vegas and Edmonton. Or Minnesota, who's also playing well recently. So it's whether or not they can stay up with their goals for, and they also have the third lowest goals against in the NHL. The only teams that have less goals against is Dallas and the Kings. So if they can keep up the way they're playing right now offensively, I do think they'll stay number one. But if you think that they'll falter by a good bit, maybe just only being top 5 or top 6 or top 7, then yeah, I do think they won't win be the top seed in the West.
I don't think they falter a ton in goal scoring. I kind of believe in that. My disbelief or lack of confidence in them remaining at top of the rest at the West is because of the two teams you mentioned. In points percentage, I was right behind the Jets, Vegas Golden Knights and the Oilers. And to me, those are two teams that probably going to make a big trade, or they're going to be active on the trade market and do something because they want that top seed. They're also competing against each other in the Pacific. So that's why I don't see the Jets staying afloat at the top of the West. I do think they can stay afloat at the Central Division. The Stars are back in a playoff spot, but they're just a good team. I don't think they're a great team to where they can win that division. I do think they'll be a playoff team, but you also have right below them the Avalanche, where I do think they also make a trade. The Stars might be a team on the trade market because of kind of the LTIR rule with Tyler Seguin being out for the rest of the regular season. Could return in the Western Conference Finals, but of course, we've talked about Sagan's contract. That gives the Stars a lot of wiggle room in the type of contract they can get in a goal scorer, which I do think they need, as we've talked about their power play. But The Oilers are a team that's always active. They're on a 4-game winning streak as we are recording. So to me, the Golden Knights and Oilers, one of them takes over that top spot in the West.
Yeah, I can definitely see it, but they are playing some of their best hockey right now, and if I think they say hot, they can definitely still win it. We'll end up seeing it's important to get the 1 seed. Having home ice advantage throughout the playoffs is something that a lot of teams strive to get, but we'll see if they're able to do it.
Yeah, and so that's our thoughts on both of the two teams in leading their conference. Make sure you check out the Capitals if you haven't listened to that yet. We appreciate you listening, and be on the lookout for more videos from Outsiders Opinions.